Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On this Tuesday, we are finally ready to do our Roblox show after what felt almost like. What did we do? Oh, yeah, we did it last week. But yeah, we're ready for another Roblox show. Well, we almost are. We're going to do the Wordle first before we do that. But oh boy, what a day it was today. Be nice. Well, would have been great if that was the word, but it wasn't. So, yeah, but it wasn't. Let's try shall. No? Okay. Let's try phase. No. Let's see. Could it be chalk? No. Alright, how about whale? Well, we got the W. Wharf was the word. Alright. Well, now with the word all out of the way, we're going to go ahead and jump right in to the Roblox stuff. But oh man, I definitely enjoyed my my day in Downers Grove today, especially yesterday. Yeah, especially yesterday. If you did not see that rail fanning compilation that I made from Downers Grove, my goodness, we definitely shattered a lot of records yesterday. Not only for the longest rail fanning compilation of the series, but also now the longest rail fanning compilation that I've ever made on my channel, period. Yes, this has officially taken the crown from Rochelle from 2025. So now, Downers Grove episode 4, June 2026, is now the longest rail fanning compilation I have made thus far. And a big reason for that was because of how late I was in starting work, and also how much time I had left on my hands afterward. So I definitely took advantage of that very well. Today's compilation has already been mostly put together. However, I am going to wait for another hour for the live stream to process. Half Price Tuesday will end in an hour. Okay, well that's good to know. So I guess it goes until... I think I know what's going on here. It's going by Universal Coordinated Time. So midnight Universal Coordinated Time, that's when Half Price Tuesday ends in this game. Oh hey, I won a big bonus. And no free spin. What a shame, but oh well. Yeah, let's go ahead and ring up some more credits. And we'll play this one here. But yeah, going back to Downers Grove for a minute. If you were not watching, if you did not pay attention to the roleplay compilation I made yesterday, yeah. Not only were records shattered, but also did some things that has not been done in any of the previous episodes in any of the previous seasons. Caught the Amtrak Illinois Zephyr up close, as well as the first freight following the morning rush hour. That... yeah, it was that, and... what else? Oh yeah, and another thing too. it was pouring absolutely hard yesterday, and I tried to stay dry as much as possible. But I found out that right across on the other side of the tracks, there's a shelter area that I could just walk into and stay dry. So that's what I did yesterday. And I tried to film the trains from the inside, almost as if I was at a restaurant, and almost like as if I was at the Hillgrove Tap in Western Springs. Yeah, the Hillgrove Tap in Western Springs, or what is now the Ridge in Chicago Ridge. Those are just some of the few examples of such. But I did my best to try to eliminate the conversation that was going on in the background as much as possible. Although I couldn't really eliminate all of it. But again, I did the best I could to eliminate as much of it as possible. Yeah, as much of it as I can. So pretty much, I don't think there's going to be another Real Fanny compilation that's going to top it. Right now, the video is at 45 minutes, but I am, again, still waiting for the other stuff to process. So that being the live stream that we ran this morning. Yeah, the live stream that I ran this morning, plus the new episode of Password tonight over on NBC, which is why I want to end this show around 9 p.m. so that way I can watch that live. And then, do some final housekeeping and whatnot with the final hour before I head to bed for the night. Because tomorrow, we're going to do it all over again. But unfortunately, Friday and Monday of the rest of this week and into next week will not be days for Downers Grove. First off, because my family has other plans for Friday, or maybe they just can't make proper arrangements. And the other reason is for something else going on elsewhere. So that is why you will not be seeing a Downers Grove episode on Monday or Friday. So Friday this week or Monday of next week. So you won't be seeing a Downers Grove episode on both of those respective days. Yeah, on both of those respective days. However, I was told about lunch at Portillo's. So I was given the option to come along with and stay Sunday night going into Monday. But that would then mean two things. The micro would have to handle WPLD during the time I'm away. And second of all, that would likely mean we would not be able to do Ticket to Ride on Sunday. And we would have to make that up at some point during the week. Or we could just cancel it for the week altogether. Well, the thing is, we're actually going to be canceling Ticket to Ride 1 week. It's for our upcoming trip, really. That's really going to be the time when we're going to be canceling Ticket to Ride for the week, and we will not be making it up. Yeah, and we will not be making it up at all. So, but right now it's still very early in the week, so I at least have myself some time to consider my options, and then from there I can make the decision as to whether or not I want to come to Portillo's with them. And I was over there for the day the night Friday, and then during the day on Saturday. So it's going to be a tough choice at this point. Um, but then if I choose to remain here, I'll be taping Sorry and Wheel of Fortune episodes. Pretty much I can get back to both of those shows now that I've fixed the issues with now that the issues with my 3670 have been mostly resolved. And now we've gotten it back in service. Now, as I mentioned in the Downers Grove broadcast today, I am still planning on acquiring the Latitude, one of the Latitude 3420s. But for those of you who might have missed it, I'll go ahead and state something that I had discovered. That model actually comes in various configurations. There's some that have the fingerprint reader like my 7506 has. There are some that have the backlit keyboard. There's some that even have a touch screen, which the models that they have do not have. They do not have a touch screen. All right, so we're gonna move on to Arcade Island now, and then this should lead us to. Then I'll take my dinner break, and then we'll find some other games to play. But I'll continue the explanation. So as I've said, the 3420, when it was new, either it would have the fingerprint reader was an optional component. You would have to request it. For those who were ordering the laptop, they would have to request it separately. Yeah, they would have to request it separately. So yeah, touch fingerprint reader was an optional thing. Touchscreen, backlit keyboard, all three are optional. And then there were some that were released in early 2021, which have the Windows 10 logo. And then I found some later 2021 models which have the Windows 11 key, or in other words, the Windows 11 logo for the start button instead of Windows 10. But in every way possible, this actually already checks the boxes on my requirements for adding new PCs into my lineup. It has to meet Windows 11's minimum system requirements, 12 gigabytes of RAM or greater, and it should at least have some space for an SSD, and it's in good condition. Now, as far as I know, they're getting rid of 3 of them as of right now. I don't remember if they had a 4th one. I think I remember they had a 4th one, but it might be somewhere else. It might be somewhere else within their. It might be somewhere else within the vicinity as of the moment. But once the entire laptop collection is acquired, then eventually we will get to the process that I am still waiting for. I can't wait for it, and I'm just getting so excited thinking about it myself. But there was another thing I found out about this Latitude model. Some come with 3-cell batteries, and some come with 4-cell batteries. Now, there's actually a big difference with those 2 battery sizes. The 3-cell batteries will leave space to add in a 2.5-inch hard drive if the owner chooses. However, when I opened up multiple of those Latitudes that I was able to see, unfortunately, those have the 4-cell batteries, which does not give me that option. So, at this point, I have decided what my plan is going to be for all those devices. I've chosen the one that's in best condition, and what I will do is, when the time comes, of course, before that laptop gets handed over to me, they have to clear all the, they have to get rid of all the school settings. They have to clear off they'll have to clear off file wave, they'll have to take it off the domain. Well, all that's going to be done on its own when I reset it with the factory install, because that is the install from the factory that's still there after so long. So yeah, after so long. So the plan is to take, well, actually, let me get the lay of the land here, just so you all know. Each of those 3 latitudes have 8 gigs of RAM and a 256 gigabyte, and I later found this out, 2230 NVMe SSD. Well, of course it has to be NVMe because there's no option for a SATA hard drive. So, what's the plan here? The plan is, as I said, I'll take the one in best condition. And what I will do is take one of the 8 gigabyte sticks of RAM out of one of the other ones, and that will go into that Latitude model. And essentially its RAM will be double. So it will have 32 gigabytes of RAM. No, it will have 16 gigabytes instead of 8. So basically giving it a little more memory. And then, when I have the time, I will upgrade the SSD from 256 gigabytes to 1 terabyte. The SSD from the other latitudes are also going to be salvaged, and I will keep those around as spares. I'll keep those around as spare drives. One of them will go into the 3670, and then I'm going to put a fresh install of Windows on there. And also that way, so that way it doesn't take up all that space. So that way Dell's recovery partition doesn't take up all that space. Because yeah, in terms of storage, that thing had been a pain in the ass since it was brand new. Virtually brand new. And I knew storage was going to be a big problem for it, so I'm glad that I'm finally getting this problem resolved once and for all. But I could put the 1 terabyte in my HP, but the issue is it only can do 2280 drives. It can't do 2230. Well, while it can do 2230, there is no screw or slot on the case where it would let me secure a 2230 SSD. So that's why I'm going to, well, I mean, I just came up with that idea just now. So those are currently my options. But, again, the route I'm most likely going to go is double the RAM, taking up its second slot, since it's been unallocated. Increase the storage from 256 gigabytes to 1 terabyte. I'll try to restore the factory installation. Well, of course, I'll do the factory reset there, and then I'll make an Acronis backup of the 256 gigabyte drive before I put the 1 terabyte in there. And then I'm going to try to readjust the drive. I'm going to try to have Acronis only restore the recovery partition, see what happens. I don't know if it would let me do the recovery partition, but I would have to see if that's even possible. But I will try everything I can to make sure this works. Or, if that doesn't work, then I'll just put a fresh copy of Windows 11 on it. Or, actually, a fresh copy of Windows 11 Pro. But, here's the issue. Windows 11 Pro, if I'm gonna put a Microsoft account on that installation, it's gonna automatically enable BitLocker. And that's going to be a huge problem, because what if something goes wrong in the BIOS update and then BitLocker locks me out of the machine? But then that BitLocker key would be stored in the account that I attach the machine to. So at this point, I'm going from a home installation to Windows Pro. Or I think I have a better idea. I actually have a much better idea. I could install Windows Home and then put Windows Pro on it. Yeah, and then upgrade it to Windows Pro. But the thing is, the product key is stored on the motherboard, and I gotta find it. So I can maybe just do the setup on Home, then install Pro, and then, complete the setup procedure from there. Now, what do I want to do with this machine? Well, I actually really want to do, I actually want to set it up to do virtualization, which is basically something my other machine couldn't handle. And maybe this will become a new away streaming PC, PC to handle live broadcasts while I'm away from home. So essentially, this would take over as the HP's new role. This will take over as the permanent role for that HP machine that we've been dealing with for a few years. So, yeah, the HP hasn't been performing quite well as I thought. Well, it's mainly because of the RAM speed, and also because of a processor that has 2 cores. This new PC, well, I guess it's technically new, but it's not really new. But I'll just say it's in like new condition. I guess that's how I'll refer it to. And that thing is actually fairly new. It's from 2021. Early 2021. Early 2021, in fact. Considering the 11th gen processor that's inside of there. So that's one laptop, and then another Lenovo is also what I'm planning to bring along with as well. Now, I have yet to get full details on exactly what it looks like from the inside and what my options are for upgrades. But as of right now, if that thing so here's what I'm thinking with that. If it has 2 slots of RAM and one is unallocated, I'll take the other 8 gig stick from the other latitude, from the third latitude, and put it in there. The SSD that came from the factory is going to remain in that laptop. Yeah, is going to remain in that computer. Okay, I guess it wasn't me that rung it up. So it's going to remain in that computer. So yeah, it's going to remain in that in the machine. So essentially, the SSD that it came with from the factory is going to remain in the machine. And of course, I will factory reset it, do updates and everything like that. Well, essentially what I'll do is I'll just factory reset the system and then do some testing on it. Test it out and, see how well it actually performs. As I actually would like to do virtualization on there too. But because the Latitude does not have the option for another 2.5-inch drive, that means I can't store virtual machines on a totally separate drive, like on the PC that we're using right now. Because I have the 512 gig drive, which I'm using to store the operating system and all the programs, and then that 2 terabyte SSD that I put in there, that one is being used to store all the virtual machines. All the virtual machines, pre-recorded already recorded content and everything like that. So and I will also, and actually, I could actually share some of the virtual machines over the network. In fact, they actually technically already are, because I'm already sharing the entire 2 terabyte drive over my personal network, so I can access that 2 terabyte drive on all of my other PCs, as long as they have a working internet connection. But I do not think running a virtual machine over a network is going to be reliable when compared to just doing it off of local storage. So I was thinking of trying that as well, and seeing how it plays out. So let me break down the plan once again. The SSD in the 3670 is going out. A new 2230 is going in there, along with a fresh copy of Windows, not from Dell, just a standard one from Microsoft. Or I can just restore the Dell installation and then delete the recovery partition permanently. However, I've actually already backed up the factory partition structure. So if I do want the recovery partition back, I at least will be able to restore it. Yeah, I will be able to restore it at least, which is a good thing. So again, Latitude, another 8 gigs of RAM, so giving it a grand total of 16 gigabytes. Its 256 gig SSD from the factory will be upgraded to 1 terabyte. It's going to be upgraded to a whole terabyte. The other Lenovo, once I see more about it, the RAM is also going to be upgraded to 16 gigs, depending on what the structure is. And then the SSD that's in there is going to remain in there, and it will not be altered in any way. So only the RAM will be upgraded. The SSD will remain the same. It's going to remain the same, and there won't be any other changes to the device. So the Lenovo's getting more RAM. The Latitude's getting more RAM. Another Latitude's getting more RAM and a new hard drive. The 3670 is getting a new hard drive. And otherwise, I think that's about it in terms of the upgrades. But then earlier, I was scrolling through eBay earlier, and I was thinking, I wonder if it's possible to replace the 4-cell battery and put the 3-cell battery in there, as well as the caddy. The problem is Dell does not offer those parts on their website. So scrolling through eBay, I found a couple listings, one for the 3-cell battery, and the other for the caddy for the 2.5-inch drive, as well as its necessary connector for the motherboard. So that way, then I can put a 2.5-inch drive in there. I could if I wanted to. But also, when I turn that on, I noticed something interesting in the BIOS, and this actually might become helpful this actually might speed up the process, because what I'm going to be doing, as I again said, salvaging the 2 SSDs, and I'll be putting them in different computers. Now, let me find the box for my M.2 card. Let's see if it supports 2230 drives. Let's see where are the options. It supports 2242. So no, it does not support 2230 drives. So no, this card does not support 2230 drives. But you know what? That's okay. That is okay. That's totally fine with me. If it doesn't support 2230s. I know they have a 2242 there somewhere, but I'm not ready to get my hands on it right now. Now there is an option somewhere. If I scroll down on the I think it was under security. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, there's the in the BIOS on this particular Dell model, this model and that Latitude. There's a toggle that whatever storage devices that are connected to the motherboard would be wiped. So that's actually real. That actually could speed things up, because then I wouldn't have to do the whole ordeal of wouldn't have to deal with plugging in a Windows installation and run disk part clean, or just delete all the partitions before even starting the installation of the operating system. So hey, this would actually save me some steps. So all I could just do is once everything has been cleared off, once everything's been transferred, I can just restart the machine, go into the BIOS, toggle that switch, and then save the changes, and then let everything get wiped. So that actually would save me a whole lot of time. Now, I actually have not seen that feature in action. I didn't even know that was a thing. Now, as I've said, I have not seen that feature in action yet. So maybe that might be something I could try when the time comes. Yeah, that's likely something I will try when the time comes. But of course, there's still a lot of other things there to get done, like trying to get the name tags sorted for the Chromebooks. I know they're doing some remodeling in the basement floor. By the way, that something from the construction work there actually ended up setting off the fire alarm. I'm not kidding. That actually happened today. At first, I was confused, but then I later thought, okay, this might be something more serious. So, of course, I knew what to do. Get out of the building. Whether it was from construction, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. I had to get my butt out of the building. Because, of course, I've been through many fire drills before. That one was definitely no exception. All right, I think we'll just I think we'll just save the 3 credits for the next time we come. I think that's a better idea. All right, we're about ready for my dinner break here, so we're gonna head to that marble slide. Well, let me make sure that the desktop audio is off, so that way you don't hear the music from the game. Waiting for race to end. Oh, okay. So I guess this is a timed race, and then I have to come back and start it again manually. But yeah, other than the trains in Downers Grove, I definitely did not expect the fire alarm to be set off at all. I was not expecting it. They were doing testing and maintenance on the system last week. Ended up with them doing a full-scale test, making sure that everything was working correctly. Now, at least they also did a run by of the building to see how the rest of the system was, and I found out that the system is actually a mixture of continuous and code 3. So yeah, it's a mixture of continuous and code 3. So there's one section that has continuous, which is the section that I'm at, and then the other sections are on code 3. So now I have a better idea of what it's like when the school does fire drills 3 times a year. I don't know exactly what their schedule is because they're a private school, but then again, and pretty much I already have my plans in place for tomorrow, and I know the very first thing I'm going to be doing. Of course, this is the second Tuesday of the month, and we got our monthly security updates, monthly security and quality update for Windows 11. And then on this page, there's actually 2 reminders. The first being the Secure Boot certificates from 2011, which are going to expire next month, which is going to expire later this month. I found out my 3060 small form factor has received the new Secure Boot certificates. Now I want to check my 3670 to see if it has received it. I didn't check it when I did that fresh install, so I want to take a look and see if it got it. Okay, it did get the new Secure Boot certificates, but I'm sure that's going to change when I do the factory reset. Now, the 3060 Micro, on the other hand, I do not believe it has yet received the new certificates. Yeah, it still has not received it. I did find a video that talks a little bit more in depth about the upcoming expiration. So I was thinking I'll just run the security update and then reboot the machine multiple times to see if the new Secure Boot certificates apply. So I'll probably restart the machine like 2 or 3 times following the initial restart for the updates. So yeah, the Secure Boot certificate expiration as well as the upcoming end of servicing for version 24H2 of Windows 11, the infamous version. Yeah, the version that's been very infamous for being buggy and plagued with AI and everything. Yeah, it was an absolute shit show when it was brand new. Yeah, when that version was new, it was an absolute shit show. And I'm glad that they have finally fixed most of the issues that have stemmed from that version. But of course, enterprise and education are still going to get updates for another year. So, unfortunately, those latitudes are on the Pro Edition. So, if they're on 20, I know the one that I touched first, that was still on 24H2. So I ran the security update first, and then it updated, and then it pulled down 25H2. So now it's on the latest version. And in fact, all of these PCs are on the latest version as of now. Yeah, you upgrade to the latest version. Now that's exactly what I'm going to be doing with that Latitude after I get my hands on it. I'm gonna remake when the time comes, I'll remake the Windows 11 USB that I have, and I'll just use that USB to install the new version. So kind of like how I did with the Micro and the small form factor when I got those two. I'm just gonna reinstall the OS from the factory, update the drivers if I need to, and then upgrade immediately to Windows 11. I'm not waiting for Windows 10 to say, hey, you're still using Windows 10. This version's not supported, and this thing's compatible with 11. You should upgrade. I'm not waiting until it says that, and I'm not waiting for the out-of-box experience to say that either. Instead, I'm just going to go straight to installing the new version of Windows and be done with it. So, increasing coverage of devices. And this also fixes hypervisor errors and K-mode exception not handled errors on some devices during system restarts, virtual machine operations, or some gaming apps. Well, actually, I have not encountered that issue, so that is something I'm glad about. I have not ran into that issue last month or on any of my PCs whatsoever. However, my 3670 crashed this morning. I checked the logs and I checked back on the stream and it went out at 1:20 a.m. So I got it back up and running. And yeah, we're also watching out for that enhanced risk tomorrow. I expect a lot of weekly test postponements. I expect a lot of postponements. But I swear if anybody tests in that enhanced, well, we'll have to wait and see. But for right now, I'm going to take my dinner break, and then I guess we'll come back and play some more. Alright, we're not going to join that marble race. Instead, I'm going to plug my HP PC into the wall because it's running low on power. And we are going to move on to our next game now that I'm through with my dinner break. Now I'm going to give the Downers Grove thing until about 8 to finish processing all the way. And then once it's done, I will throw that in and then finish it in a custom game. But there does not appear to be any music at all. Okay. Hey, at least I got it before everybody else did. Now let me see if I can find that speech. Speech settings. Yeah, I gotta make sure I'm aiming it the right way. Where's the advanced stuff? The little, the classic little box where you can just type whatever you want and just type whatever you want in there and the narrator and the voice will just read it. It'll just read it aloud. Okay, that's the way in. Preview text-to-speech voice. That really doesn't help, doesn't it? Preview.
You have selected Microsoft David as the default voice.
I want that little box. The little box where I can type stuff in there and just have it read whatever I want it to read instead of just that sample sentence. Because there was something I've been having fun with the last few days. I really want to see if I can replicate it. So, what are we trying to do here? Find our way up through this mansion. Oh yeah, I gotta be aware that that's there. So I'm gonna have to turn around. Okay, okay. I'm getting sent in a bunch of different directions here. Okay, here we go. There's the door. Oh, didn't do it in time. All right. Maybe we gotta do it the. Yeah, maybe we gotta keep going up. All right. Yeah, I've been timed out. I must have went over the limit. Okay. Let's see. Speech. Is there an option for text? Aw, they got rid of that menu. That's a disappointment. Because I can't... So this is how the whole starts. Well, okay. Okay, I gotta find my way out of the table. And I wait for the door to open. And then I can go in. There we go. sound. Yeah, they've really changed a lot of this stuff. I'm sure it's something I can do with Windows 10. However, I don't want to try it right now. Wow, okay. Okay, well, I guess if that's not going to work, then I will have to do something different. I'll just probably put it through the narrator instead. Weekly competition, not enough players. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to remote into my small form factor PC. Oh, it says it's ready to restart. Let me be sure that everything is finished before I do anything. Yep, it's plugged in. Let's restart. Now, of course, I will update all the other PCs. I'll update my other machines later in the week. I plan to do it on Thursday night, following Backyard Baseball, which, by the way, I've been informed that, yes, Backyard Baseball will come on as usual on Thursday night at 5:30 p.m. That currently is the estimated start time. So we'll come on at 5:30 p.m. for that. And then there's some other thing. And then I gotta get a list compiled of which offices will most likely postpone their tests tomorrow because of the severe weather threat. In fact, they actually might have to delay it a day further because there's a second enhanced risk. So that is something we're gonna need to. So that's something we're gonna need to keep our eyes on. That's definitely something we're gonna need to keep our eyes on tomorrow. Not just the weeklies, but that enhanced risk. So I'll have to take a look at everything when it gets started, so that way then I can reset the station at the right time. I might actually end up just throwing in the enhanced risk right then and there. Or maybe I can just throw the enhanced risk in on Wednesday morning and let the second, with the stations that are in the enhanced risk, and then let the secondary handle everything else. I think that's a good idea, considering that it took me all this time to get it back on the air. I'll probably just restart. I might restart. No, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, now that the secondary is actually operational, I'll probably just have the secondary feed the RWTs to the main. So interview. Yeah, UP 4014 arrived in Buffalo today. I sure hope Wide World of Trains saw that. Oh, there's this Warner Brothers thing I never finished. Just a collection of logos and recreations and stuff. Alright. I want to see who tested while I was gone. Yeah, then I'll feed the updated list to the micro. But at the moment, the plan is to just throw the entire enhanced risk in there. Just throw in the entire enhanced risk into the main, and then have the secondary feed the usual weeklies over. Alright, so who tested today? I see WPSU went, so I can take that out. Did anybody else go? Oh, it seems like I thought that was automated for a minute, but it's not. Hey, KMA. I know we stopped monitoring them a little while. We stopped doing them a long time ago, but hey, they tested at least. And 670 is the score. We can take that off. WBEZ, that is coming off as well. WRME and WALK are both coming off. Yeah, and then I'll also take this opportunity to compare the risk with well, the list that I have with the SBC's updated outlook. But Thursday, it is not going to be fun. And I understand I missed that Marine warning. I was thinking, remember how we did that week of stuff? I was thinking, let's do it again, since it's going to be back-to-back enhanced. I just remembered, yeah, Thursday won't be our, well, Thursday or Friday morning. Well, I'm thinking we'll wait till Friday morning, considering how Thursday could likely play out, so I'll wait until Friday morning to do the updates then, so. Alright, one PC is up to date. Now let me see. I can't remember if this got the new secure boot certificates or not. So I might want to check that while everything while it finishes loading. Well, once the Windows security thing finishes loading. There we go. Okay. Great, Outlook's now loading on boot. Okay, device security. It looks like the updates have been applied. So we are all set with this machine. So that new that Latitude should get the new secure boot certificates if it has not received them already. As for the BIOS version, I will have to check, so. Alright, so the HP laptop is all set. Now let me continue scrolling down the list and see. And I think other than that, that's it. And after this game, we'll after this game, we'll head over to the cowboy and get that list together. Surprised Drew has not even tried to join the VC yet since we came on the air, as that's something he typically does. Trying to do an would not be a viable solution, would not be a viable move. Yeah, also earlier, well, both this morning and earlier today, I've been watching those unboxing videos of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, specifically custom ones that look like the cards from the show. Let me restart the mirroring. And this time I'll toggle clipboard so that way I can carry everything over. And yes, I'll make sure to get the Latitude set up for remote desktop. It's not that I'm going to be remoting into it. It's just that I'm going to be using it to, some cases, to remote into my other computers. Although I do not think I'll be able to do so from outside of the network. Give a minute to load. There we go. All these are all the, this was the initial set of weeklies, but this was the initial set on the document, but as I said, I am going to very likely change it. So, clear both of these off. And I'm just going to split it up and save it for now, in case I end up changing my mind. Maybe I'll finish this up later off air, which is actually what I'm looking to do. There we go. So this will update it to 8655. So, yeah, Wednesday's outlook does not look pretty. The enhanced was actually expanded, so now it includes Northeast Illinois. Oh yeah, Milwaukee. The biggest question I've got is who is still going to test despite the enhanced risk? I don't think anybody will. But, of course, there's only one way to find out. Well, let's see. I want to take a look at Chicago's latest discussion for this event. Let's see what we got. Hot conditions are expected with daytime heat index of almost 100. Next scheduled update will be 5 a.m. So I will likely change my mind and, finalize everything by this point. So as of right now, it's a level 2 out of 3 damaging winds, but Thursday is actually going to be the most severe day. And maybe I'll take one of my maybe I'll take my weather radio along with. In fact, I probably should on Wednesday. Actually, Thursday too. I should take my weather radio along with on Thursday. So yeah, they're mainly talking about Thursday, not Wednesday. But on Wednesday, the peak heat index values. Oh gosh, it's gonna be unbearable. It's gonna be so freaking unbearable. Yeah, my particular area, they're saying over 100 degrees. Wow. Heat can definitely escalate quickly. So that's why my mother was suggesting to just remain in the station, that station building. In fact, that's actually what I will do. That's actually what I am planning on doing. Remaining inside the station building until the next train comes. And then when the next train does come, that's when I would step out. But at all other times, I'm going to remain inside. So, yeah, 90 degrees tomorrow. The hottest of all the days this week. Then Thursday it'll be hotter again. So summer's pretty much here at this point, considering the streak of 90-degree days that we're going to be getting. And I will very likely have the fan running at full blast for quite a while. Wednesday afternoon through early Thursday morning. So yeah, this the day 3. That's for Wednesday. Right now it's mainly damaging winds and hail, but then tornadoes is also the primary concern. So So that might affect the trains a bit, but we will see. All right. So now we're going to move on over to DeKalb. Or actually, you know what? I got a better idea. Wait a minute. What did that say? Oh, this game will be locked. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, I think I seem to know the reason why that is, but we haven't been in Sensory World for quite some time, so how about this spot instead of DeKalb? So yeah, how about here instead of DeKalb? All right. Where are the wave sound effects? Well, there's the fidget spinner. Well, that at least still works. So we're saying Wednesday afternoon. So in the afternoon, that's currently what they're saying. Now, what about... Now, let's see what kind of time slot they're mentioning in their latest forecast discussion. I want to take a look at it really quickly here. Later tonight to early Wednesday. Few rounds may occur in the general region through Wednesday through Thursday. Thursday continues to look the most concerning. It sure does. So yeah, it seems like this is going to be this is definitely going to be very concerning. So, what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to wait and see what NWS Chicago says in their latest briefing tomorrow morning. Probably right after I get up, I'll take a look at their latest briefing and see what they have to say, and then I will from there gauge my decision. Whether I'll just put the morning portion of the weeklies on the micro, or I will just move all of them over. Well, not all of them. I'm going to move most of them over to my 3670 PC, which is running the secondary. In fact, we'll do some of that setup tonight because, I mean, may as well, shall we? All right. Well, first and foremost, I might want to get this ready for tonight. Oh, wait, wrong. Wait, what the heck? Wrong document. Come on, Jeslyn file. That's the wrong document. Here we go. And we are going to do the morning portion. So we're not throwing in stuff like Palatka and all that. We're going to save that for a later time. So we'll go ahead and wipe Tuesday out. And then we'll throw this all in the config file. And I might want to check and see what Friday looks like too. Well, this is this is Thursday. This is day 3, which is what I have yet to set up. So I'll go ahead and get that ready. Go ahead and get that ready now. So I'm considering bringing one of my weather radios along with, just so I can stay informed on what's going on. Um, with the event as it progresses. I don't know when it's going to be happening. No, when it's going to start. But I just want to make sure I'm ready, so that way, or I'll do it like I did last year, where there was a severe weather risk. We were out mini golfing, and I was listening to the weather radio broadcast during my time there. So, but with what's been going on with THH recently, I don't know if taking it along will be a viable option. I was thinking of maybe letting my 12991 come along with instead. That's what I'm thinking. But as of now, I don't know for sure what my actual game plan is, but I will plan it out as as we go on here. Well, as we get closer to Thursday. We don't have Friday yet. We will get that tomorrow, I presume. So yeah, that's why I'd like to take this moment now and just get all the monitors ready. So that way when I get up Thursday morning, I'll just throw everything in there and we'll be ready to roll. So and I was thinking, to control the flow, I'm just gonna throw in only the marginal risk stuff on the secondary. Actually, maybe I should have put Northern Indiana more of at the top. And then Grand Rapids. Yeah, I don't like where Wednesday's going. Or, well, both days. Both Wednesday and Thursday. I don't like where both days are going. I have a feeling that this is going to be bad. This is going to be very, very bad. And Omaha. Yeah, well, now that I think about it, I'm gonna do the good old trick of switching around which ones are going on the primary and which ones are going on the secondary. So, yeah, I've made up my mind at this point. So, and then GRB. IND. TTX. AR APX, which is Gaylord. All right. Actually, I'll just go ahead and throw them all in there at once. So, Cleveland, Wilmington, Pittsburgh, I'm gonna move this over so I can pull the rest of the stuff down. All right, Charleston, West Virginia. I'm not going to throw WBAL in there because it's been crashing over and over again. Actually, yeah, I've actually decided I am going to split the two. So again, we're splitting the monitors between both the secondary and primary. So the main will handle, again, the main will handle the higher risk stuff, and the secondary will handle everything else. So everything in the marginal risk. And maybe I'll just have it handle the automated tests as well, depending on how things play out. So BUF. ALY. And Binghamton right here. Okay. Now Thursday I'll have to throw in everything right before I leave, because I won't be able to throw everything in all at the same time. I will not be able to do that. All right, so that's Thursday's outlook. Oh, actually, one more. MPX. I almost forgot about MPX. And I'm going to throw that in with the main stuff. There we go. Okay, so that is for Thursday. Now, I want to create another document and go back to day 2. Because what I want to do now is take note of who will more than likely postpone their tests because of the severe weather threat that's coming up. And also, I did see Brian's video earlier of that weekly on WNIT. I saw it earlier while I was waiting for another train to show up. All right, I think that's good enough. We'll deal with those credits shortly. But first, let me write down who will postpone. Well, of course, Chicago is already part of that list. Chicago is already part of that list. So Lincoln, I presume, will postpone. The Quad Cities will also, I believe, postpone. The Quad Cities will postpone as well. And then Des Moines. Well, again, that's what I'm assuming is going to happen. They could still do it, despite the enhanced risk. We've seen this happen before. I've seen offices test in slight risks. I've seen few test in enhanced risks. So this is pretty much no different. And if Sioux Falls doesn't end up testing, then I don't care. Because if they don't do it on Wednesday, as I'm sure you all know, then they're not going to make it up at all. So they're just going to cancel it totally and be done with it. Plain and simple. So yeah, once again, I'm right now writing down a list of who will postpone their test because of tomorrow's threat of severe weather and likely, yeah, and more than likely, on Thursday as well. So I think at this point, it's very likely we could see a lot of these test on Friday. Test on a Friday. Yeah, make theirs up then. But again, we will see what happens tomorrow. Yeah, again, we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm starting with the enhanced risk. And this time we're going to feature the entire Grand Rapids network if they end up postponing. And then I'm not sure what's been up with Marquette recently, but we're going to see if actually something ends up happening there. Did I get all of Minnesota? Yeah, I think I did. I did get all of Iowa. I did get all of Wisconsin. I'm currently on Michigan. The ones that are in the marginal, I'm not going to touch those. I'm only touching enhanced and slight right now. I'm leaving everything else alone. Yeah, just enhanced and slight I'm touching at the moment. I'm leaving everything else alone. And then St. Louis. I've seen them make up their test on Thursdays instead of canceling it. So it seems like that might be something that they're trying. Then Hastings. Topeka. And I've actually seen Wichita postpone their test. So if Wichita doesn't test, then boo-hoo. They're not going to make it up. So. All right. So at this point, that's really the list in terms of who will very likely postpone their weekly. So then, at that point, then I'm going to compare what's on this list. So then I can set up the secondary. However, I'm actually going to wait on that stage until after we go off the air tonight. So I'm going to wait till after we're done tonight before I set that up. Because I know we still have a few more games left to play. And I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to do Roblox for in the near term, based on that message I've been seeing. Hey, there we go. Okay, 2 minutes. All right, we're going to go ring up one more credit in the other game. And there we go. All right. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one now. Oh, yeah, that doghouse game. Why don't we play that one? Why don't we go and play the Doghouse game next? Let's do the thing again. Are you sure about that? Yes, I'm very sure. I'm very, very sure about that. I am very sure in every way possible. Okay, let's see here. I know it's been a while. Let's send this one. Do not wait. HMWK. Simplicity and safety, innovation and protection. Interesting motto. So this was from earlier today. Good thing I put KC74 in my logger before I forgot. And I think we're at the point now where I can grab the Downers Grove the episode and finalize it. But like I said, that along with the secondary, I'm going to wait until after we go off the air to get those two things finalized and polished up. You'll get them all set and polished up for tomorrow's outbreak. I remember seeing. I don't think Friday's risk is going to be that good either. Yeah, Friday's risk doesn't look too good. Because it got day 4, 15% for the Northeast. Yeah, areas like Charleston, West Virginia, like Charleston, West Virginia, Columbus, Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio. Basically, that's the area where the big boy is right now. Because right now, the big boy locomotive is in New York State. And I watched it go by the New York Railroad Museum, Northeast Pennsylvania Railroad Museum, earlier today. It went through around 11:45 this morning Eastern Time. And boy, did he put on quite a show. Oh boy, I'm going to have to see if Wide World of Trains caught the big boy. I sure hope he did. Because if he did not, I don't know what to say. But me, myself, I'm very happy I got to be part of the I got to be part of this tour. I got to witness it for myself. No, I wanted to close the drain. Okay. Alright, there we go. The drain's closed. Yeah, let's turn on a lot of things. So now we have ourselves a little water park going again. Isn't that fun? Sure. Okay, that's filled to the brim. I forgot to plug the sinks. There we go. That sends the water to the shower. Let's turn these off. Oh, I forgot these two. Then we'll just turn those off. Okay, no. There we go. Oh. It was nearly in the off position. Okay, but it's still flowing. Even though I'm... That's right. Put it on the shower. That's right. Move it to the shower. So there we go. Now we have our own little water park or whatever. So now we got a tub, a shower, and 2 sinks, all filled with hot water in that bathroom. Going into the other one, 2 sinks in this smaller one. My goodness, I don't even think I could get my body to... Yeah, I don't think my body even fits in this kind of tub anymore. And I can't get it to shut off, so... Alright. Let's do one more before we, Let's do one more before we run away. Let's do a product I expect LOT to issue multiple times, either tomorrow or Thursday.
Vehicles and businesses. Do not wait to see or hear the tornado.
Take shelter immediately. Tornadoes can produce extreme winds 65 miles per hour and above. Flying debris will be deadly to those sure about shelter. If you are outdoors, lay down in the nearest pitch or enter a public building to take shelter. Outdoors, lay down in the nearest pitch.
Oh, it's still falling behind. It's falling behind a little bit. Well, very slightly though. Well, I guess it depends on what products it's picking up. Yeah, I wasn't expecting Indianapolis to relay things at all, but all right, let me try to turn this off again. Okay, even at this position, it won't turn off. It's not going to turn off. But yeah, I can't interact with these or anything. So, all right. I think that's enough of that. So let's move on to another one. That Uno game. Yeah, let's move on to Uno here. We're going to play the MGD-ware mode. I'm going to lower the card count down to 7. Because, first of all, we're tied on time. Second of all, I want to be done with this so I have enough time to see Password tonight. And also allow myself enough time to get Downers Grove finished up, as well as finalize the plans for the severe weather event for both tomorrow and Thursday. Oh, the thing's not even showing. Alright, there it is. Yeah, I can't play anything. Got it just in time. And sure, let's have the narrator say some characters. Yeah, I didn't press it in time. Is it talking?
Roblox.
There we go.
Exclamation point.
Exclamation point.
Exclamation point. Number sign.
Yeah, I was making it say a whole bunch
Down
of
arrow.
things like those other math signs, like almost equal to, it's not equal to sign. And since we'll be doing Windows updates tomorrow at work, first things first. Oh boy, that's gonna be quite a mouthful trying to manage all of it. Yep, somebody didn't call Uno in time. Underscore.
Plus sign. Equal sign. Equal sign. Opening parenthesis. Closing parenthesis.
Official.
Single quote.
Single quote.
Single quote. Single quote. Opening parenthesis. Closing parenthesis. Opening parenthesis. Closing parenthesis. Asterisk.
0.
Opening parenthesis. A.
Official.
Exclamation point. Exclamation point. Exclamation point. Exclamation point. Exclamation point. Semicolon. Single quote.
Single quote.
Backslash.
Vertical bar.
Vertical bar.
Vertical bar. I'm gonna get ready when it gets to me.
Show for the fans.
And symbol. 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 And
At
symbol.
symbol.
And symbol. Percent sign. Percent sign. Percent sign. Percent sign. Grave accent. 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 Tilde. 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 Roblox S.
Yeah, I didn't hit it fast enough, didn't I?
Grave accent. Grave accent. Grave accent. System tree. Server sidebar net members. Messages in W. Message hash. Grave accent. So backspace. Roblox.
Yeah, I was trying to do another draw too.
Plus sign. Plus sign. Plus sign. Question mark. Question mark. Question mark. Question mark. Question mark.
Question mark.
Question mark. Three.
3.
Five.
7. Not can't interfere anymore.
7. Exclamation point.
Maybe I should have turned that off too.
Exclamation point. Exclamation point. Exclamation point. Less than sun. Greater than sun.
Official.
All right, somebody's down to 1. didn't call it in time. Or it was a challenge.
Period. Slash. Period. Period. Comma. Comma. Opening brace. Closing brace.
Oh, there we go. Got that skip out of my hand. I think considering how long this is going to take, I think it is right now. We'll just play this and then we'll call quits. Okay, someone's down to 1.
Official.
Ooh, 3 are down to 1 now.
Official.
Okay, now it's blue.
Official.
And that's it. 7. I only had 7. Well, hey, that's actually not that bad of a score. Not that bad of a score with how crazy that game was. Alright. Well, since we're about to wrap things up here, we're going to add the Starcade. So we'll head here and wrap things up. And I didn't even get to put the desktop audio on the whole time, so why not? For this last game. Yeah, I like the music, but I'm not letting it continue. Hiya. Oh, there's the negative 7,000. I don't know why everything's in negative, but whatever. All right, over to the main arcade. This is where we will really start the fun. I'm gonna take this opportunity and let my phone charge as well. Yeah, make sure it's all set to go for tomorrow. It is. Okay. I'll just let it charge up for a bit, and then I'll switch it over. All right, let's see. What have we got? Oh, that dice pyramid. And it's already over. Alright, let's continue. Okay, let's continue on. And it's over. Didn't even get to the minor. Overdraw. Okay, we start with 10. And we're going to continue. It's a lower number. Oh, I see. The red is where the value will be subtracted. And there's the overdraw. So the green is add. Red means subtract. Alright, that makes total sense now. Alright, we're gonna go on. Choose this one. Okay, there it is. The bag. And we're gonna march on. Alright, we're gonna continue. So I suppose you gotta avoid the Joker in order to win the bonus. Alright. One of these does not have a Joker. Alright, let's continue. See what's there. And there's the Joker. Alright, perfect 21. Or catch 21, whatever. Alright, go on. Okay, 16. Stop. And accept that hand. And sure, let's do it again. Alright, keep going. There's only an ace. 2. King. Continue. Oh, E2. And bust. Alright, one last time. Okay, continue. Continue. Let's continue. Bust. Again. Remember these? Oh yes, these were a lot of fun last week. This time, let's do them both on no difficulty. Yeah, no chance. Well, hey, I set the high score on this one. Let's do binary. Are we gonna get a pair of 2s? We got a 2. Yay! 2 2s on the first go! Let's see if we can get it on baby difficulty again. Ah, fine. Baby and binary. 5 and 1. 5 tickets for high score. Yeah. Alright. We're gonna do baby on both. Got a 4 and 1. Oh, high low. This is Card Sharks. Lower than a jack. Okay, got it. Let's go higher. Got a 7. Lower. And it's a 9. There's that quiz game. Oh, here's the skee ball game we didn't play in Cornerstone for how time we were. So sure, let's play it here. Yeah, we gotta play it here before we're done. But where even are the arrows to switch the game mode? I wonder if they ever showed up. Or maybe I just wasn't paying attention. Okay, didn't work. There, 24,000. 24, and then I got another 2 on top of that. Alright, where are the arrows? Okay, where are the arrows to switch the game difficulty? We just choose from the list? Or no? Ah, I guess we don't get that choice. That's a shame. That is such a shame. Because in Cornerstone, you could just press the arrows to choose the kind of game you want to play. You want to play just the classic mode, the Rome 3000 or whatever that is, the Blitz, well, basically that and several other modes. Almost like on that Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual Terminal game I've been playing for quite a while. When you ring up a credit, you get the choice if you want to do the advanced, the more exciting action duel mode, or just the standard card game mode. Or in other words, speed duel, as it's referred to. But yeah, there actually is a game called Bingo Blitz. I'm surprised the creators of the actual mobile app haven't come after this specific game yet. I'm pretty shocked. But only time will tell. Alright. Let's do all 4 of these to wrap things up. I won the jackpot. That's the only literal machine I won the jackpot on. Alright. I'm not gonna try those. Let's play this, No, this will be the last game, and then we're totally done. And that's it. Game over. So it just equipped itself, and that was it. Alright. I think that's enough of the... Yeah, I think that's enough of the games there. Alright, so folks, that is going to wrap things up for our Roblox show here this week. Yes, of course, I know it's going to be, it was a shorter show than it normally is, but the thing is, I got more time in Downers Grove now this year, and yeah, more time in Downers Grove this year, and then there's Password on NBC, which comes on at like 9 o'clock, and then I only have an hour to wrap things up before I have to get to bed tonight, so that way I can be well rested and ready for tomorrow. So, before we wrap things up, of course, tomorrow will be our next live stream over on the main channel, which will be episode 6 of Downers Grove. So, of course, we'll go live in the morning, and, you know. And then, depending on when the severe event plays, depending on when that event starts, that is going to decide whether or not we get to do, whether or not we'll do coverage of the event. If we end up doing coverage, it is very likely not going to start until about 6:30 p.m. It's very likely not going to start until around 6:30 tomorrow night, if we end up doing coverage. Otherwise, there is no other live stream scheduled for tomorrow other than Downers Grove. Now that's because of the tight time. Because tomorrow is the floor finale, which I hope does not get preempted here. Or in other words, I hope we do not have to watch it on demand because of how bad the weather is. But unfortunately, that is how local TV stations run. If a tornado warning gets put down, they're going to have to stop. They're going to have to cut into the program. They're going to have to cut in the program because the coverage of the weather event is more important. So, if we have to wait until it's available on demand to see it, then we'll be more than happy to see it there. But then, of course, Downers Grove again on Thursday. As of right now, as far as I've been told, Backyard Baseball is still on for 5:30 on Thursday night. So, I'm looking forward to that. And then for Saturday, again, we're looking at a shorter format. So, right now, of course, we're anticipating the 2 usual games, Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Random Character Extravaganza at the end. And for Friday this week, the Fun Night Show will return. It'll be back this week. It was not on last week because of the... It was not on last week because I was, somewhere. But you get the idea. So I'm looking forward to
doing the Friday show this week. I know Yugi has been waiting to do just a single duel with me for quite a while, so we're gonna make that happen this Friday night. So that is something I'm looking forward to. I sure hope you're all looking forward to the Friday show as much as I am. But for right now, that is it for us here tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow morning, bright and early, somewhere after 7 a.m., when we bring you episode 6 of Downers Grove Season 4 over at Jesselyn Field Productions. But until then, I am Mr. Planfault, and yes, I will still go by that name. And from all of us here, we bid you all good night.